Sasha, welcome back to Reading with Toby. Today I finally am filming some end of the year content, 2021 end of the year content. Things have been very busy. I have not had time to film. I haven't been feeling like filming, honestly, but I really at least wanted to film this video, which are my top books of 2021 because I'm excited about them. I want to share them with you. So I figured, you know what, it's better to put this video up later than never because I have to talk about them. Okay, so I was looking through my books and I did already post this on Instagram, so you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you would like. It's just at Reading with Toby, but I shared my top 5 books of 2021 and I magically only rated 5 books 5 stars. Of all the books I read in 2021, only 5 of them hit the 5-star mark, which is actually kind of wild. 2021 was not the best reading year in terms of finding a ton of books that I just absolutely loved. But I mean, 5 books, I guess that's better than nothing. I will also, after going through all of my top 5 books, share some runner-ups, and I just so happen to have 5 of them too that I do want to mention. I didn't give them 5 stars, but I still love them anyway, and I want to be sure to mention them. So let's just go ahead and get started. I was trying to think of like the order, like is it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? So I think I have a number 5 and I have a number 4, but then my top 3, I can't pick which one is better than the other. I think they're all equally amazing. So coming in at number 5 is Luster by Raven Leilani. This book was amazing. I still think about, actually all of these books I guess I still think about, but this character, she felt so real. I feel like she's still up in New York, living her life, having trouble dealing with life, trying to figure it out. This one, you're following this young 20-something, she's like 22, 23. She's this young black woman up in New York City, and she is basically just trying to figure out life. She ends up getting involved with this older white man. He's married, and then things happen. She ends up coming to his house, meeting his wife, meeting their adoptive black daughter, and ends up living with them, and things happen, drama happens. It's very interesting, it's very dark. This young girl, she is dealing with a lot. You kind of see how her past and her own family kind of led up to where she is now and why she can't really deal with life. It is written so well. Oh my gosh, I think that was one of the best parts of this. I mean, like I said, this character feels like a real person, so I absolutely loved this. It is a nice, quick, short novel. I highly recommend if you're looking for something dark and contemporary with a little bit of social commentary thrown in, but it's really more just about this girl being black and just being a 20-something-year-old. When you're 20-something, you don't really know what you're doing with your life. So I really love this. Coming in at number 4 is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This was one of the first books that I read in 2021, I believe. I read this in January or February, and yeah, absolutely love this. I've always known that I love V.E. Schwab's writing. It's incredible, and I absolutely love this book. Obviously, I gave it 5 stars. I just think Addie LaRue was such an interesting character. Oh, it's so dirty. I don't know where that came from. I do want to buy another copy of this. This is the Owl Crate edition, right? Yeah, and I got it in their like specialty box. Sorry, I'm having an allergic reaction to my cat. Yeah, and they have like this pretty new like blue cover edition that I think I'm gonna buy because even though I love the back, I just think this is such a boring special edition. Anyway, I really love Addie LaRue. I thought she was such an interesting character. I love the devil, the dark thing, whatever his name is. He has like multiple names. Basically the devil. I loved him. I loved Henry, which is the boy that she falls in love with. I don't know, I just thought it was such a cool idea, so smart, and I thought she wrote Addie LaRue so well. Like, you go back and forth with her in the past, and her like deciding to make this deal with the devil, and then how she's grown in like 300 years and she's in like today's world, and then you get like Henry's side. I don't know, you get the I just loved how it was all connected. I definitely want to reread this. I just thought it was so good. All right, so the next 3, like I said, I truly can't pick which one is better. I love them all for different reasons. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick the top one, which is just how I randomly stack them. Okay, so if you've been watching my channel, you know this is gonna be on my list. And that is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. This book, what in the world? This book was so incredible. I say it was life-changing, which sounds really dramatic, but it was. This book like changed my life. It changed something. You know, there's certain books it just like does something to your soul. It just like changed it just a little bit. And that's what this book did. It started off really slow. I honestly was not enjoying it. I was like, oh no, everyone loves this book. I'm not liking it. The writing is so weird. It took me a second to get into it. Things were happening, but it was so slow. This is a slower book, but things were so slow. And I was like, what? I don't know, but I'm so glad I pushed through because I freaking love this book. It was incredible. This is a horror novel. You're following these indigenous people. Some of them are on the land. One of them has left. And yeah, and it's like a revenge story. It was so great. It was so great. I love how the like indigenous traditions and contemporary life was like woven in this horror novel. It was just freaking brilliant, and I can't wait to read his other book, My Heart is a Chainsaw. Yeah, it was really slow, but then it really picked up, and shocking, truly shocking moments, and I had to like reread it like 5 times, like did that actually happen? Yeah, so good, so good. The next one is Burnt Sugar by Avni Doshi. I love this book, obviously. This was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize. It was longlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction, so you know it's a good one. Okay, this one I freaking loved. The writing was incredible, very sharp, very poignant. This is another really dark novel you're following. This is about this mom and daughter relationship and how unhealthy, toxic it is. And the mom is starting to lose her memory, and the daughter is really really struggling with wanting to take care of her mom, not wanting to take care of her mom, and feeling really angry that her mom gets to like forget their relationship and all the how horribly she treated her, but the daughter like has to still keep these memories. I don't know, I just thought it was written so well. Like the first line of this is like one of the best first lines I've ever read. It just like really sums up the entire book, and I will read it for you. It just says, I would be lying if I said my mother's misery has never given me pleasure. This is freaking brilliant. I really recommend this. Oh, also, sorry, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue also had a really great first line. Let's read that one too. A girl is running for her life. Yeah, because that also I think sums up the whole book. Anyway, I highly recommend this. I haven't seen a lot of people on booktube read this. Like obviously it's been nominated for prizes and things like that, but I really think a lot of people will love this. It's really, you have to appreciate, you have to like non-likable characters. There we go, that's what I'll say. Okay, and then lastly is actually the last book that I read in 2021. I have a whole reading vlog where I finished up this book, and it made me cry. The ending made me cry. It was very heartbreaking, but this is a very beautiful book, and that is Bewilderment by Richard Powers. This was shortlisted for the Booker Prize as well this year. That one was 2020, and this was like the only one on the long list that really caught my eye, and I am so glad I read this book. It was the last book of the year. This book was incredible. I have lots of little tabs because there's some beautiful writing. Richard Powers is an incredibly talented author. He's one of those authors that just like every single word he chose on purpose, and he can sum up exactly what he wants to say in very short amount of words, which I think is really difficult, and it's brilliant. So this year, following this father and son, the mom has died. They're both really struggling with the grief. The son is on the spectrum, so he's already having a hard time dealing with life in general. And you're just following the dad trying to help his son cope with life, coping with the grief of his mom. And it is so beautiful, heartbreaking, just like everything you want. And then on top of that, the dad is an astrobiologist, so you're getting a lot of like sciencey talk and planetary talk and like extraterrestrial life talk. And if you don't know, I love science. I love anything that has to do with space. So this I would categorize as like fiction comma science, because there's a lot of science talk in here, but it's just, oh, but it's also like so humanistic and family and love and grief. Oh. This book was so good. I love this so much. More people need to read this book. This was incredible. So here they are, my top 5 books of 2021, the best of the best. I highly recommend all of them. They're also brilliant, incredible writing, some darker themes. I love these so much. The next little bit, I'm gonna go through some of my honorable mentions that I want to quickly mention. 1 second. I tried to fix my lighting. I think it's a little bit better. So these are the honorable mentions, 5 of them that I really want to quickly shout out. So these I also are in no particular order. I just grabbed them off my shelves and this is how they stacked up. Okay, so the first one is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I think I have a reading vlog for, I think just when I started this book. So I will link any vlogs down below if you want to see me talk about them more. But yes, this is by Grady Hendrix. I love this so much. I think I gave this 4 or 4.5 out of 5 stars. This was just so much fun, dark, gross. Had the social commentary in it. It had a little bit of humor in it. I think most people know what this book is about. The title is like obnoxious. Not obnoxious. I think the title is just like a little ridiculous and it makes you like, what am I about to read? But like, don't let that fool you. This book was so good and dark and I loved it so much. And I think Grady Hendrix is becoming one of my like go-to authors. Wait, what book? Yes, the Final Girl support group I have over there to read this year, and then he has a new book coming out called like How to Sell a Haunted House or something like that, which can't wait. Okay, next book is Mrs. Death by Selena Godin. This book was so good. Oh my gosh. So this one is written in different narrative forms. So there's like letters, there's poetry, there's interview style, it's all kinds of different things, and you are following Death, but she like portray herself in real life as a Black woman, and she decides to tell her story to this young man named Wolf, who was a very interesting character. I really enjoyed him, and it's just written so beautifully. I love this so much. It's really dark and you will contemplate your own death, I promise. Your family's death, your friend's death, like it's gonna happen, but it's also like a more hopeful book about death and like how humanity is good. I don't know, it had like these like happy hopeful moments, but I really love this a lot. If you want like a more introspective existential dark novel, definitely recommend, with some incredible writing. Definitely recommend. Okay, the next book is a book I see no one talk about, so I had to definitely mention it because I gave it 4 out of 5 stars and I thought it was so good. And that is 50 Words for Rain by Asha Lemme. So this is a historical fiction novel. It is a big one, but I read this in like 2 or 3 days. It was so good, so fast paced, and just like an amazing story. So this one, you are following this young girl. She is half Black, half Japanese, and it starts off in World War II in Japan. And her mom, her Japanese mother, left her with her grandparents, her Japanese grandparents, who are like these high society people in Japan. And so because her daughter is half Black, they kind of like hide her in the attic. They don't want anyone to see her. They give her acid baths to try to lighten her skin, and then one day her half brother comes to live with them and basically like saves her. And it is just such a great story. It's like heartfelt. You feel all the emotions. You feel happy, you feel sad, you have that like brother sister bond, and it's just like, it is just such a good story. And I know so many people would love this, and I want more people to read it, so go read it. The next book is actually a YA novel. And you guys know I don't read a lot of YA, so this was a good one, and that is Elatsoe by Darcy Little Badger. I thought this was so good. This is one of those books that like while I was reading it, I was like, oh, it's okay. Like the writing was good, but it definitely felt very, very, very young. I think the main girl is like 17. She's written like she's like 14, 15, and it's definitely written for a younger audience, which I was kind of like it's not really my kind of thing. But when I finished it and I was like sitting with it, I thought it was just so good. Like the message she was trying to convey, it was like a fun time. It's all about family, the Lipan Apache tribe and like their traditions and folklore and how that's all woven in. And I just thought it was so good, actually, so good. So I definitely recommend this. I love this so much, and it is also a beautiful cover. Look at that, amazing. Oh yes, and like all about animals, and if you have like a furry best friend, you will love this book so much. This is another author that I have their newest book. I think it's called A Snake Falls to Earth, so definitely gonna get to that one this year. Okay, the last book that I want to mention is a collection of short horror stories, and that is The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana Enriquez. Yeah, so this is written by an Argentinian author, and it's translated to English by Megan McDowell. So yes, this is these are like collection of very unsettling, disturbing, creepy stories that all take place in Argentina. But they're all following like women, and some of them are following children, but I would say like most of the main characters are about women. And it was just so interesting. Like sometimes I'm like, how in the world did she come up with this stuff? Because some of it was like real dark. Yeah, and I love the writing. I will definitely read her next collection of short stories. Oh, I didn't put them here, but let's see. My favorite, in case you were wondering, is Our Lady in the Quarry, The Cart, Where Are You Dear Heart? That one was messed up but brilliant. Kids Who Come Back was so good and like creepy. That book, I mean, that story truly creeped me out. Like I was thinking about that story for days after, and I was like laying in bed at night like creeped out. And I think that's it. I think those are my favorite ones. The Danger of Smoking in Bed, which is the title story, was okay. But yeah, I definitely recommend this if you're looking for a nice little collection of short stories. This was so good. Hey guys, so that is it. Those are my top books of 2021 and some horror mentions. Wow, some honorable mentions. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you've read any of my top 5 books or my honor mentions. Here's Toby. He jumped up on me. Hello, kitty kitty. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on our next one. Bye.